Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope everybody's feeling incredible this morning. My name is Haziq Ali. I'm a revenue acceleration coach. I'm a self-esteem development expert, starting with my own. And every single week, Monday through Friday, we are here to help you go further, faster, with less effort. Some of you know, some of you don't. I've never had a job, man. All I've ever done is build businesses with my own company. Once I took over as a CMO, we hit the Inc. 5000 list of fastest growing companies in America, not once, but twice in a row. And to God be the glory, it looks like it's about to happen a third year. You got to love it. But that's not because of magic. That's because of frameworks. There are frameworks that you can look at your business in that can blow your mind. Your business is worth a lot more than you think. And if you will just squeeze some of these little fruits you got, if you will just flip some of these levers, if you'll just kind of like use some of these switches and whatnot, you'll be surprised the kind of things you can create. So that's what we do every single weekday, Monday through Friday, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. But even if you're watching a replay, give us a replay, gang. And right now, what we're saying is it's time to check in. Rep your city. What kind of business do you have? How do you help people? At the end of the day, entrepreneurs are here to solve problems. Is that a fact? Is that a fact? I mean, we can make it seem all these other ways, but if you want to make more money, all you got to do is solve more problems. Is that a fact? At the end of the day, if you got mink coats and you try and sell them on the beach, you're going to be broke because no one has that problem. Is that right? You trying to go somewhere where they have the problem that you solve, that you're the best at solving, that you went and solved for yourself first. And it's a beautiful thing when you begin to realize you've got gifts in the forms of all these experiences. Your scars are your requirement. Your pain is your credentials. You get what I mean? Your pain is your credentials. You've been through things that give you the authority to speak on it. You've got a roadmap out of hell. You're like, oh, I'm still working on it. We all are still working on it. But all you need to do is be one chapter ahead of your class. You hear me? I remember there was this movie called Catch Me If You Can. And Leonardo DiCaprio played one of the world's most famous, or should I say infamous, con artists, this cat named Frank Abagnale, right? And Frank Abagnale, as they depict in the movie, played everything from an airline pilot. I say play, but he would just literally con himself into these situations. So he impersonated, is the word I was looking for, an airline pilot. He impersonated, just all these wild different types of, you're like, how did he pull this off? But the one that blew everybody's mind was that he impersonated a professor at BYU, which is a major university. He went in there and basically took over this other guy's identity. They was like, we understand how you did this. We understand how you did that. But how did you teach a class when you know nothing about the subject? And then he was like, man, all you got to do is be one chapter ahead of the classroom. Yeah. So anyway, I say that to say that, like, a lot of times your only limits are your doubts. Your only limits are your doubts. You get what I'm saying to you? Yeah, good morning, P.O. That means London checking in. The United Kingdom's up in here. What's up, Vanessa? Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. What's up, LaRon? DC is in the house. Let's go. My man Jackie Robinson in here. Yeah, that joint was cold, right, bro? Check in. Let them know where you're from. I'm about to call in on the live line right now, y'all. Let's get it.
You have something special. You have greatness in you. Hello, this is Les Brown, and you're in the right place at the right time because we're going to bring the millionaire out of you. Just hold on. Please enter your...
All right.
Thank you. Please announce yourself. All participants are muted. Entry and exit tones are off.
All right. Good morning, millionaires. Good morning, millionaires. I hope you're feeling incredible this morning. My name is Haziq Ali, and I want to welcome you to another edition of our morning show for entrepreneurs, right? Make sure that you take notes. This is not like a normal kind of thing where you're just listening to a morning show and they telling you all this gossip and they telling you, you know, who hunching on who, and you know what I mean, who just overdosed and all this nonsense, right? What we talking about instead is how to go further faster with less effort. And the number one way you do that is what we call entrepreneur mindset. Now, a lot of people think that entrepreneurs are business owners, and a lot of people think that business owners are entrepreneurs. The two are not mutually exclusive, y'all. Matter of fact, a lot of business owners ain't even entrepreneurs, and this is why they go out of business so quickly. What is an entrepreneur? Somebody who's looking to make something out of nothing. Like the Harvard definition of entrepreneur is someone who's looking to pursue opportunity without regard to the resources currently controlled. That's the definition of an entrepreneur. It's somebody who's looking to pursue opportunity without regard to the resources currently controlled. And so therefore, entrepreneur mindset is somebody who's looking to pursue the opportunity to serve. See what I did there? The opportunity to serve without regard to the resources currently controlled. And so this morning, what we're talking about is 15 different ways you can rate your entrepreneur mindset. If you could dig something like that, then I want you to get some stars, get some likes, get some shares, because it's not social media that's bad, y'all. It's that the algorithm is picking up all of them distractions you waste your time on. The algorithm's just showing you more of the nonsense that the numbers say you're the most interested in. You know what I mean? So if you're liking the you know what I mean, ghetto debauchery, if you're liking all of the nonsense clips that, you know what I mean, somebody said this and it's like, ooh, how they say that to that person and all of that. It's like what you're doing is wasting your time. What I suggest you do instead is invest your time. Phrases like that is why people confuse time with money. They always say time is money, time is money. Time is way more valuable than money, y'all. Money is fungible. You can spend it, get it back from somebody else, same dollar, right? Time, once it leaves, is gone forever. So I suggest instead of us wasting time, we begin to invest our time. So last week we talked about the first 7 of these 15. We were talking about believing that you can do it. We said you can rate yourself from 1 to 10. Like 10 is, I got this one down. 1 is, woo, I got some opportunity for improvement, and you're not allowed to give yourself a 7. Everybody with me? So we said, believing you can. We talked about creating the right environment. We talked about creating the associations. We talked about planning for the day. I won't beat a dead horse because y'all can go back and watch that replay. But today we're starting with number 8. Somebody give me number 8 and a share in the comments if you're ready. Here's number 8, y'all. Forming an action bias. Let me see that in affirmation form. Say, I have an action bias. Jackie, you are crazy, dog. Yeah, man, you can't spend your whole day watching twerk queens exercise. You know what I mean? It's like all that's doing is robbing you of this currency we have called attention. You want to know why Mark Zuckerberg and them wear the same outfit every day, or why Dr. Dre wears the same outfit every day? It's because they recognize that attention is finite. If I'm spending my attention currency on looking at choosing what I'm gonna wear, and I'm spending all, now I don't have the attention I need. Now I don't have the focus level for the high cerebral activity that's gonna help me conquer the world. You got what I mean? So yeah, all jokes aside, you do want to watch how much you get distracted. I always say the devil's government name is distraction. You hear me? You hear me? Somebody give me that in the comments and give me a share. The devil's government name is distraction. The devil's government name is distraction. In Hebrew, they called him Beelzebub. Beelzebub means Lord of the Flies. You know what I'm saying? Lord of the Flies. Like the devil's name is Lord of the Flies. In other words, you're trying to walk the straight path, and here comes all the distraction. You got me? All right. Anyway, back to today's topic. Number 8 is take action. Nike said, just do it, right? I think that was like the name of the Greek god. The whole vibe is just do it. Well, what you'll find about having an entrepreneur mindset versus having a worker bee mindset is that the worker believes that, man, I'm going to learn everything about this and then I'm going to do it. But what the entrepreneur mindset says is, I'm going to do it and then I'm going to learn everything about it. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to jump off the cliff and I'm going to build a plane on the way down. What I'm saying is, action is the way you bridge your plans and your goals. Action is that bridge between that fantasy and the actual achievement. Nothing happens till you do something. So every single day, our play is to take some actions that make us productive. Never forget, my definition of productivity is that it means you're working on a project. What's my definition of a project? It's something that when you're done working for it, it starts working for you. If not, you're going to be a slave the rest of your life. Everybody get it? So we're not just going to have an action bias, but we're going to try and cut out the busy work and make sure we're focused on the high impact, high value activities. And instead of looking at this big old mountain like we'll never get the top, what we're going to do instead is put one foot in front of the other. Keep on making our next step our best step. We're not tripping off speed because we know we're going in the right direction. You got me? So number 8 is I have an action bias. Let me see what your score is on that, Terrence. Let me see what you give yourself on that, Yuli. Let's go. Action bias, scale of 1 to 10. Where are you with an action bias? And you can't give yourself a 7. Don't forget, you can't give yourself a 7, Dr. Marilyn. 1 to 10, where are you on action bias? Are you somebody that has the same goals written down that you wrote down in January, man? You wrote it down in January. Matter of fact, you wrote it down in January of 2022, and you still have not committed yourself to taking daily consistent action towards that thing. Well, you're not allowed to give yourself no 8, 9, or 10. You got to keep it 1,000 with yourself. You know, don't lie to yourself. But the cold part is you're the easiest one to lie to. You're the easiest one to lie to. Here's number 9. Here's number 9. Say, I take responsibility, and then give yourself a score. I take responsibility. Okay, so if you give yourself a 10 on this, it means you never blame anybody else. You barely blame yourself. You're focused on taking responsibility. Responsibility is the beginning of all power. Responsibility is what makes you top of the food chain. You know, animals just react. Some stimuli comes and the animal just either is enraged and attacks, or the animal is just full of fear and runs away. That's an animal. What makes you top of the food chain is that you don't just have to react. You have the ability to respond. You get to take responsibility. You got me? And that's the beginning of all power. Your ability to think before you react, right? How good are you at avoiding the blame game? Give yourself a score on that. Say, I take responsibility. And if you've got a powerful entrepreneur mindset in this way, right? This is the 9th one that we're giving you. Then what I want you to do is kind of think about how that's helped your life. I want you to think about the times that you could have just crumbled, the times you could have folded. Like, this ain't fair. Check it out. Many things happen to us that ain't our fault, but it is our responsibility. And check it out. There's some harvest that comes with that, because nobody calls you a legend because you had it easy. You got me? Anybody whose name rings off, because you know they say everybody dies twice, right? There's the day you die, and then there's there's the day you die, and then there's the day somebody says your name for the last time. Think about that. There's the day you die, and then there's the day that people stop saying your name. Those are the 2 days every man's gonna die. Every woman is gonna die. Check it out. If you want your name to ring off longer than others, if you want to leave what we call a legacy, if you don't want to be like your great-great-great-granddaddy and your great-great-great-grandmama, who you don't even know their name because they ain't leave you crap, you got me? Because let me keep it real with you. If your mama, if your great-great-great-great-great-granddaddy would have left you something, you still be naming your kids after their food today. Right? So all I'm saying is, because they ain't leave you nothing, they complete dust to you. They memories, they ash and bone. You got me? All I'm saying to you is that blaming other people is a path of mediocrity. If you want to be a legend, if you really want to leave a legacy, then you got to say to yourself, if it is to be, then it is up to me. You got to say to yourself, the whole world's against me, but I love the odds. You got to say to yourself that ships always stay safe in the bay, but that ain't what ships are created for. You got me? Smooth seas don't make great sailors. All right. I'm gonna cut it out with all the t-shirts. You know what I'm saying? But y'all get me. Successful people take responsibility for everything they do, and they take responsibility for everything that happens to them. It might not be my fault, but it is my responsibility that's gonna make me a legend. You got me? All right, here's the third one for today, number 10. Did you give yourself a score on responsibility? Did you give yourself a score on responsibility? All right. Here's number 10. Here's number 10, making mistakes. This feeds into that entrepreneurial precept that I just now talked about, where a lot of your child's fear will disappear. A lot of your teammates' fear will disappear. A lot of your coworkers or the people that you're in charge of leading in that organization, you'll find that the organization gets a whole lot faster. You'll find that the organization gets a whole lot more powerful at the point that you're okay with making mistakes. At the point that you're okay with making mistakes. Check it out. The best teacher is always going to be failure, right? Failure is that kind of like a breeding ground for self-determination, right? What will help is if we stop thinking of them as mistakes and start thinking of it the way a child. You know how there's this big book about entrepreneurship, probably the greatest book about entrepreneurship ever written, that says you stay childlike, not childish. It's like you stay childlike. What could that mean? Like there's such wisdom in that statement, right? We're sure of it, but what could it mean? Well, I don't know. But one idea that comes to me is that I know that when children are playing and a mistake happens, they just go, wee, and then they start over. But not adults with all this ego and all this shame and all this guilt and all of this need for validation. You know what adults do? They be like, I give up. You know, but a kid be building a sandcastle, the wave come along, knock the whole thing over, and the kid is like, yo, I'm about to build this joint way better this time. Like, yo, a wave just crushed my joint. Matter of fact, I'm gonna get up and crush this joint too. And then the kid will get up and start kicking that joint, right? And then they'll just start completely over. It's a child, right? It don't consider it mistakes, it considers it playing. Scale of 1 to 10, how you play it with yourself when it comes to staying childlike, right? How does that feel? How does that feel to you? How does that feel when we talk about staying childlike? Childlike. Give yourself a score on that. You know, are you willing to make mistakes? If you want to say it in affirmation form, then you would say, I am willing to make mistakes. I am willing to make mistakes. And then share this with an accountability partner. Share this with a Facebook group. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, here's number 11. Here we go. I have focus. That would be the affirmation form of number 11. Like, I keep my eyes on the prize. I have focus. You know, some people say focus is an acronym. Follow one course until successful. Follow one course until successful. Focus, a lot of people say, is the number one reason that people succeed, or the number one reason that people stay mediocre. It's either focus or the lack of focus. There's a bunch of things that we can do to help our focus. We talked about it a little bit the last time that we were talking about this subject. I think it was last Thursday, and we were talking about building your environment so that it helps you to stay focused. What does that mean? That means the culture. So that's your friends. That's your significant other. That's building your habitat. That's your physical environment. Maybe it's your workspace. Maybe it's the way you set up your home. And then we talked about building your mentality, right? So that you understand that these mistakes, that these trials and tribulations are just the way the story goes, and that everybody goes through it. As a matter of fact, some of your heroes had it much worse, and this is why they're your heroes, right? See, when we begin to form that sort of environment, it makes it easier for us to keep our eyes on the prize. Too many foolish diversions, too much cheap dopamine is going to take you off the path that's inevitable. You with me? Where are you with your focus? Where are you with your focus? This is a time for self assessment. This is a time for introspection. Never forget, wisdom don't come because time is passing. You know, if you're anything like me, every time you look up, it's Friday again, right? That don't make us automatically wise. What makes you wise is introspection. In the text message system, I sent out this quote yesterday. I was like, knowledge makes a man unfit to be a slave, right? That's a quote from Frederick Douglass. And then one of my homies wrote back, they was like, well, applied knowledge. And I was like, I don't think that's what Frederick Douglass was talking about. I think that when you're talking about breaking the mental chains of slavery, just awareness is going to do it for you. You ain't got to give baby a TED talk for baby to understand stove is hot after baby touched the hot stove, right? Now, after a while, you got to explain that don't mean stoves are bad. Stoves are good. You just got to use the stove a certain way, right? But the bottom line is baby gets awareness, baby changes. What am I saying to you? I'm saying that millionaires, you got to keep your eyes on the prize, and all of a sudden, everything helps. For the man with goals, everything helps. For the man without goals, nothing helps. Just work on your awareness. You're going to be all right. Work on your awareness. What you aim at, though, is going to determine what you see. All right, here's number 12. Everybody still with me? Good, good. Here's number 12. All right, balance. Somebody say, I am balanced. This is the 12th way to rate your entrepreneur mindset. Balance. Somebody say, I am balanced. So what are we talking about? We talking about the great holy grail, because ain't none of us balanced. But it's a worthy goal. You know, the reason you don't see homeless people out there working out, doing pull-ups on the lamppost and all that is because right now they're not in a space to work on their body. Right now, they're trying to get together some of the basics. They're trying to get together. So they're a little bit out of balance, right? You know, a lot of times people gain weight because they eat their emotions, right? Some of us have a sweet tooth because maybe we don't consider our life to be as sweet as we need it. And you know, sugar is like one molecule from cocaine. You know what I mean? Like we're all just searching for like some of us is drinks, or some of us is smoking bud or something, or some of us is you know, it could be some kind of pill, right? For some of us it's exercise. For some of us it's you know, maybe a spiritual. But how do you find balance? I mean, physically, spiritually, emotionally, this is vital, because it'd be horrible for you to achieve success in one area and then the others are so off that you still don't feel fulfilled, you know? Like I remember, it's a horrible joke. I mean, but it just always makes me laugh because it was this one dude, man, this was my man. Man, this dude was big as hell in the gym every day. And then you'll see him get into this car. Man, the car had to be like one of them clown cars from the circus. And it's like, it just blew my mind. I belly laughed the whole way home. It was crazy to me. Now I'm at a higher awareness level, and you know, I don't think that's funny anymore. But the point I'm making is that, damn, you know, he's spending all his time on his physical self, but ignoring his financial self. At least that's what it said to me. For all I know, you know, he was doing some kind of social experiment. I don't know. I can't judge that man. But what I'm saying is we want a little balance. You know, we don't just want to work on our health and ignore our finances. We don't just want to work on our finances and ignore our health. We don't just want to work on those two and ignore our spiritual growth. Somebody say, I am balanced. What is your score with that one? I am balanced. We don't want to be just with work and ignore our family. But of course, we can't just be with our family and ignore our work, right? You can't just be with your significant other and ignore your family. You can't just be with your family and ignore your significant other. You can't just be with those two and ignore work. Balance yourself. There are 3 different currencies of life. Write them down, y'all. You got time, you got skills, and you got money. You got time, you got skills, and you got money. Type that in. Those are the 3 currencies of life. You got time, you got skills, and you got money. And whichever one you need, you got to use the other 2 to get it, right? Like if you need more skills, you got to use your time and your money. If you need more money, you got to use your time and your skills. You with me? If you need more time, you got to use your skills and your money. Everybody with me? Balance yourself. Balance yourself. You know, you want to find it's not about you, kind of like spreading yourself around. It's about creating the kind of life where everything has synergy. That's why it's so important for you to pick the people very carefully that you're going to rock with. All right, here's number 13. Yeah. Time, skills, and money. Those are the three currencies. Time, skills, and money. Yeah, let's go, Spoon. Let's get it, bro. All right. Number 13, I kind of talked about this one earlier too, but it's invest, don't spend, right? I don't care how much you make, y'all. And I always get pushback on this from my mentees, et cetera, so forth. Like, oh, Hazik, that's easy for you to say. Check this out, y'all. You've got to pay yourself first. If you don't pay yourself first, you are working for your bills. You are working for your bill collectors. Until you begin paying yourself first, you're a slave. Oh, Hazik, that's easy for you to say. No, you don't get it. If you won't do it with small amounts, you'll never do it when you start to grow. What I'm saying to you is that if they raise your taxes, you would complain and then you would pay it, right? You would complain and then you would pay it. One of my mentors from afar, this cat, Tony Robbins, that's the way he always talks about it. When I first heard him say that, I was like, that makes so much sense, yo. Because they constantly raising prices. They raise prices on bread. They raise prices on milk. They raise prices on Starbucks. They raise prices on Netflix. And you know what you do? You find a way. You find a way. Check it out. If anybody wants this lady's program, there's this lady I was just now looking at. Her name is Lakeisha Taylor, something like that. And she basically got huge on TikTok for using this envelope stuffing technique. If anybody out there has problems with money management, I'm going to send you her information for her envelope stuffing technique. And maybe it's something that you want to adopt. She turns everything into cash and budgets down to zero. And, before she knew it, she had $1,000 in cash saved up. Before you knew it, now her business is on track to do like $1 million this year, but she still just pays herself $1,200 a week, which, by the way, is not where she started off. She was what most would consider poor when she started off. So I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe it's time for you to look at paying yourself first, because until you pay yourself, you're a slave. I hope that doesn't sound harsh. Number 14. So give yourself a score on that. Somebody say, I pay myself first, and then give yourself a score. I pay myself first. Listen, I don't care if you make $10 an hour. Now you make $9. Out of every dollar, you should be saving a dime. Out every $100 bill, you should be saving $10 at least. Now, eventually, we can take that $10 and start investing it. There's all kinds of things you can do. ETFs, and you can have your Cash App just purchase Bitcoin every week on automatic. There's all kinds of cool things you can do. This is why it's important you work your side hustle. This is why it's important you grow your business. This is why if you need more money, you have no excuse if you have a business, right? But I dare you, I challenge you to begin paying yourself first. I'm talking about be ruthless with yourself. If somebody ain't going to get paid, let it be Netflix. Don't let it be you. And then what's cold about Netflix is it's not just the cost for the Netflix, it's how much of your time you putting in it if you ain't exactly where you want to be yet. Don't get me wrong. We all need a release. I got my guilty pleasures. I'm not judging nobody. I'm just saying that, like, if I had money problems, the first thing that I would do is cut out every distraction, especially the ones that cost me money. Especially if I'm telling my mentor, my coach, if I'm telling somebody God put in my path that, oh, I can't even, that makes perfect sense, but I can't. That's crazy. And number 14 I got for you. Yeah, good. I'm glad to see the transparency. I ain't even going to throw y'all on the screen but I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see people being honest with themselves. I'm here to tell you, you'll be shocked at what you can do at the end of a year, at the end of 2 years, at the end of 3 years, if you will discipline yourself to tuck that little piece to the side for yourself. Number 14 is straight up perseverance. Most people only lose because they quit too soon. I know that sounds so bumper sticker, but it's just the facts. A lot of people have no idea how close they are to success. I dare you kind of look at the reasons you normally quit. I dare you look at the last thing that I was chasing. The reason I quit was boom. Or last month when I was trying to hit blah, 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 the reason I quit was boom. Maybe it's like you didn't start early enough. Well, good thing you're thinking about it at the beginning now, or maybe it's that you didn't really access some of the resources you had, be they associations, be they opportunities to serve. I mean, what throws you off normally when you quit? What starts making it look too insurmountable for you to go as hard as you know you could? I dare you think about it. Somebody say, I stick until I win. I stick until I win. And then the 15th one I got for you for entrepreneur mindset, y'all, is are you able to ignore idiots? You can't be a jackass whisperer. You can't be a jackass whisperer. You hear me? Your whole vibe can't be finding a bunch of idiots and making yourself feel better because you're doing better than them and you just feel like you just look. You got to ignore idiots. And there's that reason you're ignoring them, but also there's the reason that these people will start to rain on your parade. Misery loves company. Greatness minds its business. You got me? Misery loves company. Greatness minds its business. You see what I did there? Company, business company. See what I did there? All right. We out of here, man. Those are 15 of them for you. Ain't nuclear physics. This ain't brain surgery. This ain't rocket science, right? You would think that everybody that watches this is now going to be on their way to riches. Nope. The reason a successful is so rare is because most people act like most people, right? They're going to make excuses. They're going to blame other people. They're going to hang out with people who expect to lose. That's the definition of a loser. It's just somebody who expects to lose, right? So all I'm saying is that the biggest secret is you. The biggest secret is you. I know I haven't been running this the whole time, but you can join our text message system right here. If you want, we about to go do our affirmations, y'all. It's affirmation time. Let's get it. Take your cool off. This is part of us formulating that mentality. This is us making these thoughts of winners become the path of least resistance. Repeat after me. Say it like you mean it. Here we go. I am